For years, we have been told the same story, that governments work for us, grow the economy, and secure our future. Most of us want to believe this, because everyone wants to trust. In a world where their hard work pays off and tomorrow is better than today. But history shows us something else. Well-intentioned words do not always align with lived reality. When we look back, we see that governments have repeatedly relied on similar methods. These have not always been open or harsh actions. More often they were quiet, gradual, and difficult to notice. People did not wake up one morning and say, "I've become poor." Instead, over time, they felt their savings no longer stretched as far and their income no longer carried the same value. One of the most familiar examples of this is inflation. When a government struggles to cover its spending, it may choose to slowly reduce the value of money rather than openly raise taxes. This can sound like a technical issue, but its impact on daily life is very real. You earn the same salary, yet buy less at the grocery store. You save the same amount of money, but it purchases less in the future. No one tells you directly, "We're taking more from you," but the result is the same. What happened in ancient Rome is an early example of this. When the state came under pressure, it altered the composition of its currency. The appearance stayed the same, the official value stayed the same, but over time people realized that their money bought less. By the time public reaction emerged, the system was already firmly in place. Today, similar dynamics exist, just through different tools. In the Middle Ages, the methods were more direct. Kings demanded loans from wealthy individuals. These loans were often not voluntary. Those who refused had few real options. Repayment was not always timely or fair. The state survived, but trust and private wealth were damaged. As time passed, systems became more structured and more complex. Modern banking and government debt emerged. Governments borrowed money, investors earned interest. On paper, the system appeared balanced, but when the source of that money was examined more closely, it became clear that much of the burden still fell on ordinary people. Taxes collected from everyday consumption were used to pay interest on those debts. Today, a similar picture remains. When crises occur, protecting the system becomes the priority. Large institutions are supported, markets are stabilized. Sometimes these actions may truly be necessary. But over the long term, who ultimately pays the cost is often overlooked. Higher taxes, rising living costs, reduced social benefits. These are the consequences felt slowly over time. Pension systems are also part of this chain. People contribute regularly during their working lives, trusting that they will have security in the future. Yet in many countries, this money is not set aside. It is spent immediately, replaced with a promise. When populations age or economies struggle, fulfilling those promises becomes increasingly difficult. The solution is usually later retirement or reduced purchasing power. In recent years, monetary policies have become even more complex. Central banks created large amounts of money to support markets. This prevented systemic collapse, but it also drove asset prices higher. Those who owned homes, stocks, or investments benefited. For those who did not, life became more expensive. Over time, this gap turned into a wider social divide. All of this points to one common theme: the distance between perception and reality. The language used is often soft and reassuring. Words like reform, stability, and growth inspire confidence. But the effects are not the same for everyone. Some are protected, while others become more vulnerable. History reminds us that these mechanisms are not new, they simply change form. Understanding the past helps us evaluate the present with greater calm and awareness. The goal is not fear, but understanding. Financial knowledge is a form of self-defense. When you understand what is happening, you are better able to judge it clearly. Perhaps the core truth is this: systems exist to protect themselves. People become stronger when they act with this awareness. Real security begins with the courage to see reality as it is,